All right, round two. We are busy today. Makes up for the fact that I haven't done a couple of videos in about a week. So, anyway, so today we did our banana pudding earlier. Turned out great. It's in the fridge, chilling for 24 hours, so it'll be ready to go tomorrow. Now we are going to make dinner, though. I don't have anything planned for dinner, and I'm going to make something called chicken piccata. It's a super easy meal to make. You know, it's got pasta that it's going to go over, and obviously you can serve it over rice or whatever. You know, it's a classical dish. When I say classical, I mean, you know, I worked in hotels for a long time, and not to give you the long story or anything, but you know, in these hotels, they have what are called crowd pleasers. These are things that people, especially business people, come and they kind of expect to be there, especially when these hotels have full service restaurants like Marriott does. So chicken marsala was one, and chicken piccata was another one. Now those, I've already made chicken marsala a couple of months ago, so we're gonna make chicken piccata tonight. Like I said, it's super easy to make. Not really very difficult at all. It takes about 10 minutes or so. Might have to finish it in the oven, maybe. But the way I make it is, you know, there's lots of different ways to make it. The way I start off by making it is I look at my chicken breast, and this is a clean chicken breast. There's nothing wrong with it. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to butterfly it or cut it in half, and I'm going to actually cut it down. And you know what that'll do is that'll actually cut down the cooking time quite a bit. So I'm going to start by cutting it in half. Just cut that chicken breast right down the middle. Okay. When I say butterfly, you can leave it attached. I'm not going to. I'm going to put it into two separate pieces, so like this. I'm going to lay it on a towel, just get it nice and dry. All right, get it nice and dry. I'm going to take the other one. There's 4 of us, so we're going to have 4 chicken breasts. And like I said, I'm going to serve this over. I've got penne pasta on the stove cooking right now, so you can cook it over any pasta if you want. I think even the recipe that I originally used was served over rice. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and kind of get these nice and dry. I'm going to put another paper towel over the top part of it. Unfortunately, every time I step away, the camera dims, so I'm sorry about. I don't know why it does that. I've been trying to work on that, but all right. So we're just going to pat that down and let that kind of dry. I'm going to turn on my skillet, get it nice and hot, and I've got my flour here. And while the chicken is drying, there's only going to be one thing I put on this cutting board, so I don't have to worry about, you know, cross contamination or anything like that. There's not anything else going on, so you can go ahead and cut your chicken on it. I'm not cutting any vegetables with it, so I'm going to take a whole stick of butter and I can cut it in half, bit in half. I'm going to go ahead and get that in the skillet. Get that skillet nice and hot. And I would do this on a saute line. Okay, so if this were something I was making in the hotel, when I made it in the hotel, I would just simply put this, you know, do this on the saute line. Get this thing nice and hot. Butter, you're going to preferably butter over oil because it has a lower smoke point. And so I'm going to go ahead and take my chicken breast that I've cut in half, and I'm going to put them in the flour. I've added a little salt and pepper. You don't have to add it if you don't want. I'm going to put add it into the salt and pepper. I want to make sure this butter is completely melted before I start throwing chicken in there. I want this butter to be melted. Make sure I get this thing nice and melted. You want this thing hot. You want this chicken to turn brown. And like I said, you might have to actually finish this off in an oven. Maybe. Let me get my whisk out. This is always a nice thing to have handy. All right, so I'm going to take my chicken breast and I'm going to go ahead and dredge it in flour. Hit both sides really well. Like I said, I used a little salt and pepper in this. You don't have to if you don't want to. Put this off to the side here. Like I said, I'm waiting for that butter to completely melt before I throw anything in there. So let me get my chicken breast here. Toss this really well. And yeah, I think the key secret to a good chicken piccata is actually drying it out. Make sure the chicken's dry, get all that excess moisture off of it. All right, so we're good. I'm gonna blast this thing, get this thing nice and hot. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my chicken in the skillet. And I'm gonna turn this thing up as hot as it'll go. I want this thing to be scorching hot. All right. All right. So now I'm done with that. So now the remaining ingredients that I have are essentially, you got salt and pepper. I have, you can use parsley, some herbs. I use herbs de Provence or whatever. You can use Italian seasoning, use whatever herbs you want. Capers, that's essential. Some type of lemon juice, and some type of white wine. I'm using cooking sherry. So this thing is hot. I'm going to make sure that your chicken gets nice and golden brown on both sides. Do not flip that chicken until it's brown. All right. Like I said, you might have to finish it off in the oven. I've got an air fryer that I'm going to finish it off in. Now, the one thing I am going to do once this is done, once I finish this plate off, I'm going to put it over penne pasta. Like I said, you can put it over rice, you can put it over linguine, spaghetti, whatever noodles you want. I like penne, but whatever you want to use. And I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it at like a little bit of a bias. I'm going to give it a nice, fan look. Not done. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to check the pasta. Pasta's looking good. All right. So I'm going to hold this up. I'm going to show you what it's not supposed to look like. That right there, that's not done. So if you get to that point, leave it on there. It needs to get a lot browner than that. So we're just going to, like I said, I've got this thing up as hot as it will possibly go. And we're going to, let's go ahead and I'll pause this for a second because I don't want you guys to see it wrong. We'll go ahead and just pause it just for a minute. All right, we're back. And so we flipped them over. It's been about 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and finish these off in the air fryer. Now, obviously, if you're in a restaurant or something, you got a convection oven. That's a giant air fryer. And this is kind of what you're looking for right here. All right, you want this, there we go. This is kind of what you're looking for right here. You're looking for that nice brown. Maybe you can flip it over one more time. Get the other side really well. Oh yeah, the other side looks even better. Hit it with some salt and pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and toss this into the air fryer. Finish off. All right. I'm going to go ahead and scoop this out nicely with a nice spatula. And what I'm about to do next is really what makes chicken piccata chicken piccata. You know, it's not really the chicken. It's the sauce that you're making with the chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and put this, you're not going to see me, but you're going to hear me. I'm going to put this in the air fryer. And, all right, now I'm back. Pan's still hot. There's a lot of excess chicken that's on the bottom. It's brown. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to deglaze the pan with some white wine. All right, this thing is still turned up as hot as it'll go. All right, throw that white wine in there. Next step is we're going to throw a little bit of lemon juice to deglaze the pan. And that's going to mix. I'm going to throw that away. All right. You can take a whisk, obviously, whisk that together. What will happen when you deglaze the pan is all the excess residue that's on the pan will come off. So essentially clean the pan. That's what deglazing the pan is. I try to tell this to people that work for me at my job that, you know, deglazing the pan is kind of a, you know, brings that flavor out of the pan. And it also cleans the pan as well. So I'm going to add a little bit more butter to this. You know, get this nice and sauce. You know, add another stick of butter to this. This is really going to be rich. I don't know if my family's going to like this or not, but whatever. I love this stuff. This was one of my all-time favorite things. It's a lot like chicken marsala, except for the type of wine you use. Obviously, with marsala, you're going to want to use mushrooms. You use marsala wine. It's going to be a beef base. Mix that butter in there. I mean, really mix that in there really well. So what I'm going to do is once this is finished, once the chicken is done, I'm actually going to go ahead and lay the chicken back in this and put that cover over it. This is going to be a completed meal. This should start to be like a sauce. All right, I can see it right. when you're making it, it'll be the consistency of a nice sauce. And like I said, the heat should still be up. All right, and my last step that I'm gonna do, next to last step, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. I never have too much salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some herbs, some French herbs de Provence. I ain't saying that. Add some herbs. I'm gonna make this as French as possible. These herbs aren't coming out fast enough. Never mind. As fast as they're gonna come out, because that's what it is. I just need to learn patience. I usually take these things off when I buy them. I don't really want them on there. It's like I want to be able to control how much is coming out, which I want it to be a lot. Mix that in there really well. And then my last step is I'm going to add a little bit of capers to it, juice and all. So this is 3.5 ounces. I'm going to add 1.75 ounces. Yeah, about half that. All right. Half that. All right. And so that's it. So once the chicken is done here, I'm going to go ahead and return the chicken back to this pan. I'm going to lower the heat. I'm going to put the top on. And this is going to reduce down quite a bit. And this sauce will be almost like, it'll be a creamy sauce once it's done. And it is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best dishes I've ever had. It's very pretty, easy to make. Like I said, it's something that's made on a saute line. Obviously, I'm kind of, doing a little bit more here because I've got, better, a little bit different equipment. But, I have a saute pan. I put my chicken in. Got my wine sitting up there. I deglaze the pan with some wine, some lemon juice. All these things would be, my mise en place. I have it all ready to go. And then, of course, I'd have some pasta on this side. So, I would flash the pasta, get it nice and hot. And then I put it in a bowl and then, be ready to go. It's a beautiful dish. It's going to come out. It's going to look really, really nice. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I will post the finished product on my Instagram page at Lost River Catering. So if you want to see what it finally looks like, I usually do like a little clip of the video on Lost River Catering, and then I finish it off with my, with the picture of the final product. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Sorry, I went a little bit long. Have a great night.